In 1947, President Harry S. Truman, a Democrat, presided over significant shifts in U.S. foreign and domestic policy, actions that attracted both support and intense criticism from various quarters, including accusations of moral and ethical lapses and contributing to long-term negative consequences. A pivotal development was the articulation of the Truman Doctrine in March 1947, a major turning point in American foreign policy and a foundation of the Cold War. Truman asked Congress for $400 million in military and economic aid for Greece and Turkey, ostensibly to support free peoples who are resisting attempted subjugation by armed minorities or by outside pressures, directly challenging the Soviet Union's influence. Critics immediately argued that the doctrine was a blanket commitment to interventionism globally, often supporting undemocratic or repressive regimes, such as the Greek government at the time, merely because they were anti-communist, thereby acting on unethical geopolitical grounds by prioritizing U.S. interests over genuine democratic ideals. This marked a profound shift from traditional isolationism, committing the U.S. to conflicts far from its borders, and raising the specter of what opponents viewed as imperialism or militarism. In July 1947, the National Security Act was passed, which unified the Army, Navy, and Air Force under a single Department of Defense and created the National Security Council and the Central Intelligence Agency, while framed as necessary for national defense, the creation of the CIA, with a mandate that allowed for secret, often unaccountable operations abroad, has been cited as a major negative act. The clandestine nature of the agency's formation and subsequent actions set a precedent for illegal or immoral covert interference in the affairs of sovereign nations, including subverting elections and overthrowing governments in the coming decades, all while operating with minimal democratic oversight. On the domestic front, driven by mounting anti-communist fervor, often referred to as the Second Red Scare, Truman issued Executive Order 9835 in March 1947, establishing the Federal Employee Loyalty Program. This program required comprehensive background investigations, largely by the FBI, into the loyalty of millions of federal employees, searching for subversive activities or associations. The program was heavily criticized for being unethical because it essentially established the principle of guilt by association, allowing employees to be investigated and dismissed based on mere suspicion, sympathetic association with groups designated by the Attorney General as totalitarian, fascist, communist, or subversive, without the right to confront their accusers or know the evidence against them. This process was seen as violating fundamental principles of due process and civil liberties, fostering a climate of fear and suspicion, and contributing to the negative trend of government intrusion into personal beliefs and associations. Despite Truman's veto, the Taft-Hartley Act, formerly the Labor Management Relations Act, was passed by the Republican-controlled 80th Congress over his objection in June 1947. While Truman and the Democrats opposed it, its passage represented a major setback for the Democratic Party's traditional pro-labor stance. This law reversed many gains made by unions during the New Deal, restricted their power by outlawing secondary boycotts, requiring union leaders to take anti-communist loyalty oaths, and allowing states to pass right-to-work laws, and was seen by labor as negative legislation designed to weaken organized workers. Regarding prejudicial actions, Truman created the President's Committee on Civil Rights with Executive Order 9808 in late 1946, whose landmark 1947 report, To Secure These Rights, was a powerful pro-civil rights document. His administration also continued to operate under the shadow of entrenched federal racial segregation in the civil service and the military throughout 1947. Furthermore, the Democratic Party was deeply fractured, with a powerful racist Southern wing that consistently blocked any meaningful civil rights legislation in Congress, thus perpetuating prejudicial laws and practices at the national level. Truman did not move to desegregate the military until 1948, highlighting a delay that allowed institutionalized segregation to persist under his party's watch in 1947.